Back for yet another day of things going very badly for Kristi Noem in hearings in front of Congress. Now, Noem was asked about a number of things, but one element, one line of questioning in particular caught my attention, and not because it's salacious. Actually, let's just let you hear the exchange, the Congresswoman from California's questions for Ice Barbie. And then I got some thoughts. I got a lot of thoughts, and I have some more context as well. Brace for Noem spouting nonsense to avoid answering the question.
So, Secretary Noem, at any time during your tenure as Director of Department of Homeland Security, have you had sexual relations with Corey Lewandowski?
What?
Mr. Chairman, I am shocked
point.
that we're going down and peddling tabloid garbage in this committee today.
Reclaiming
and
my
ma'am,
time.
one thing that I would tell you is that he is a special government employee who works for the White
Who you're
House.
porking.
There are thousands of them in the federal government.
So, reclaiming
You're
my
not
As an
porking any of the rest
advisor,
of them, though.
it is
has
okay for
no-
you to be
no
offended
authority
by
to
the
be
question.
making any
It is
decisions.
okay for you to
Has
be
no
offended
authority
by the
to
question.
be making
But it is
decisions
also
and
a
putting
real
every
question.
So what I would say
And
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we
question
do at the Department of Homeland
clearly
Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation.
every single day is to protect
If
this
someone
country
is
and
asking
to make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is
I
sleeping
ha-
with their subordinate, that should
I
be
ha-
the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage?
Because it is not about
It is
your sex
offensive
life.
that you have brought
It is
that up.
about your
So
judgment.
that kind of garbage
It is
has
about
been refuted
reclaiming
for
my
years,
time so
and
that
you
I
need
can
to
hear myself
recognize-
share.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from California, but it'd be nice if you would let her respond.
I will. I want to let you know it is about your judgment and decision making. It is about the 260,000 employees that work under you that want to make sure that you are giving information and making decisions clearly. It is about conflict of interest. It is about a national security risk. Department of Homeland Security was created right after 9/11 to protect the homeland. And DHS has circulated an internal bulletin to law enforcement partners warning that the conflict of the war we're in could inspire lone actors or small-scale cyber activity inside the United States, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. So American lives are at risk. The people who work for you are at risk. And they want to know that the person at the top, you, are making decisions clearly without any sort of cloudiness. And that they're your decisions because you're the secretary who was confirmed. That's what this is about. Saving the lives of Americans and not costing them millions of dollars. Not having a secretary who's compromised in her decision making.
Absolutely brilliant line of questioning. It has nothing to do with the fact that Kristi Noem is largely purported to be in an open marriage and has been having a sexual relationship with Corey Lewandowski for at least 5 years. I am the last person who would be critical of somebody in an open marriage and critical of what consenting adults choose to do with their time. It's the fact that Corey Lewandowski works for DHS. He is Kristi Noem's subordinate. It's deeply concerning that Kristi Noem's husband, Corey Lewandowski, Tricia McLaughlin, who worked for DHS, Tricia McLaughlin's husband, have all been tangled up in a really fascinating, horrifying financial web, including contracts with the federal government for corporations that were formed just days or weeks, right? Like, if you want to know more about the enmeshment of Corey Lewandowski, Kristi Noem, and all of the peripheral people around her, I really encourage you to check out the work, the investigative journalism of Miranda Poli-Sci. Particularly, go read her Substack. Like, this is her wheelhouse. She's been covering these financial connections for years and years. I don't give a shit who Kristi Noem is porking unless it's her subordinate at the Department of Homeland Security, which she is currently running. And also, I kind of care if she and that subordinate are bumping uglies, having a hot beef injection, knocking boots on an airplane that is paid for by the American taxpayer, that Kristi and Corey Lewandowski had remodeled to look like a luxury billionaire's private jet, but they claim is being used for immigrant transport. No, it's not. No, it's not. They're screwing each other while they're screwing the American taxpayer out of millions of dollars for a private jet. Like, the corruption is just so obvious. They're living high on the hog and charging the American taxpayer while they run an ethnic cleansing in this country. For me, that whole interview, the fact that she could have just very easily been like, no, absolutely not. That's not happening. It's something that she couldn't say under oath because it's obviously happening. The ethical conflicts in this regime, I realize they don't give two shits about ethics. I realize they don't care at all about doing the right thing. They care about corruption. They just want to institute fascism. They all want to live luxurious, opulent lifestyles while we all suffer more and more. I understand what their game is. Right from the beginning, Kristi Noem got put in charge of the Department of Homeland Security. I think there was a piece in the news a couple of days ago where Donald Trump said the fact that she mentioned in her book that she murdered her own puppy actually made him more likely, was more inspiring for him, right? He's like, oh yeah, she's definitely somebody who should put little children in cages because she has no problem offing her own dog. Anyway, the fact that Kristi Noem runs DHS, immediately her boyfriend of at least 5 years, Corey Lewandowski, was hired for DHS. Her buddy, Tricia McLaughlin, her husband has financial dealings with, was made a DHS spokeswoman. And Corey Lewandowski, by the way, was hired as a temporary employee. He should have been out of there, right? Oh, we don't need congressional approval. He doesn't have to be vetted or anything because he's this temporary employee. No, he's back. He's back. This piece in the New Republic from January of this year talked about how Lewandowski's work at DHS was confirmed when an Axios reporter in January spotted him loudly discussing DHS vendor contracts on the phone at Reagan International Airport. Again, January of this year, after he was already supposed to be gone. Lewandowski reportedly mentioned a drone program as well as Peter Thiel's Palantir in public on the phone discussing national security issues. Remember back at the beginning of Trump's regime, there was this big Signal scandal where WikiLeaks Pete Hegseth and a bunch of these other members of the regime were all like texting on Signal about top important government secrets, and they let a reporter into their. Remember how nothing came of that? Okay, so as far as Noem and Corey Lewandowski, this New Republic piece quotes an anonymous administration employee saying, everybody knows they're together. Can I prove it? No, but also they're together. It's the worst ever secret in DC. Since 2019, there are multiple interactions that have been witnessed by various folks that include Kristi Noem sitting in Corey Lewandowski's lap and Lewandowski slapping Noem's butt in public, in front of other government officials. Again, I don't care if they have a personal relationship, but she's using that personal relationship to put her boyfriend in positions of power with like drone contracts, spending government money. Again, it's about not only the appearance of impropriety, it's about the actual impropriety. I just want to remind everybody that like what's happening now, I realize the scale of the complete ineptitude and corruption is just so extreme that so much of it has been normalized for us. In any past administration, this would have gotten her removed immediately. The number of ethical violations, not only all the things she wrongly, terribly, cruelly said about Alex Preddy and Renee Good that were lies, and that were not only all of the time she has lied in front of the American people, but just this shit with Corey Lewandowski would have gotten her yanked. And I guess this is the overall takeaway for me watching this hearing today, watching the hearing yesterday. I am looking forward to the future. What kind of America do we want to build? Who is going to get justice and accountability for what's happening now? Hearings are not justice and accountability. Yep, it's under oath so that future folks can use those statements under oath in court for prosecutions, etc. But I want to caution people here because Democrats drew up articles of impeachment against Kristi Noem. Where has that gone? I don't actually care that much if she's been impeached or not. My friend Miranda said the same thing. I care that she's prosecuted for all of the crimes that she's committing now. But that so many establishment Democrats are, as my eldest child says, right where they want to be. They have a hearing. They send a strongly worded letter. Hearings are important. They're in and of themselves entirely insufficient. It's just the beginning step. We, the American people, have to insist on prosecutions. We have to insist on justice because a hearing isn't justice. A hearing where she's not going to tell the truth and where, yeah, it shines a light on what's happening. Like too many establishment Democrats think that that's sufficient. That's all that they have to do. Raise awareness. Remember the surrender Dems when we had the last government shutdown? Dick Durbin, I believe, said, oh, we accomplished our goal of raising awareness. Yeah, unless we, the American people, insist on justice, that's all that Democrats are going to do. Raise awareness. So I really want to encourage you as you're watching all of these hearings and you're like, yeah, get him. This line of questioning is fucking brutal. Yes. This is so metal. Like you dared to ask these questions. Cool. I want justice. I want prosecutions. I want government reform so this shit never happens again. The only way we get that is we, the American people, in the millions and millions and millions, must insist upon it. So what do you think of Kristi Noem's hearings? What do you think of Democrats' responses? Oh, look, I'm getting all flushed in the face. I'm getting worked up over this. How is it that we make sure that we get justice for all of the crimes that are being committed now, and we make sure that this doesn't happen in the future? We make sure we get the necessary reforms. And it's not just Kristi Noem being prosecuted. We need to dismantle Homeland Security altogether.